The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, weekdays 4 Eastern.
Chad Myers is working the story for us, our severe weather expert. Chad, this sounds very ominous.
It is, Wolf. And the problem right now is that this is a very shallow quake. This is at 6 miles deep. If you're going to have a quake at 7.0 or something like that, you want to have it very deep because then there's plenty of rock to almost cushion the blow to the surface. This is the same depth that the Banda Aceh tsunami happened, and we know how much damage that occurred, that made. Although the shaking itself is more of a concern to me than any tsunami potential here, because the earthquake did happen below a land surface. Now, there still could have been part of the sea surface that shook as well, of course, but it's not like it was a quake under the water where the rupture under the water would have caused a large displacement of water. This is a displacement of land, and the shaking will be devastating to this. You're talking about the poorness of the country and the people around there, and it isn't so much how much they make. It's how well the buildings are built, and they are not to what we would call U.S. specifications. And so these buildings, when you get a shake like this, are going to collapse. And there's going to be devastation here that we haven't even talked about yet. This is going to be a long night, Wolf.
Yeah, because if you've been to Haiti, and I've been to Haiti, these structures there, most of them are not strong and certainly not capable of withstanding an earthquake, the magnitude 7.0, which is a very, very large earthquake. These structures are very, very poor, primitive. And the folks there, some 9 million people live in Haiti. Our hearts go out to them right now. We're trying to establish contact with some people in Port-au-Prince and elsewhere in Haiti right now. And if you take a look at the situation there, Chad, you can only begin to imagine what might be going on even as we speak. You have a lot of experience in dealing with these kinds of earthquakes. And as you say, this earthquake hit underground, not off the coast directly of Haiti, but underground, only about 15 or 20 miles from the capital of Port-au-Prince. So that is devastating.
It is. And there'll be two types of waves. There's going to be a P wave and an S wave. A P wave is almost, think about it, when the earth moves the same way the front car of a chain reaction accident would move. The front car moves because all of the other cars behind it hit it. That's all the dirt and all the earth moving in a straight line. That's going to be the first one. That's the very quick and the very first tremor felt in Port-au-Prince. And then the S wave is almost like taking a slinky and putting it on a table and then moving it back and forth with your hand and almost making an S out of it. So it's called an S wave. That is the shaking, that is the rumbling that tears buildings down. They are unable to withstand the back and forth motion, which is much more violent than what the P wave would be, or the initial wave. And it's the secondary wave, the S wave, that I'm very concerned about here. At a 7.0, only this far from a very large, multi-million population town, is going to cause quite a bit of devastation all the way from the epicenter right into Port-au-Prince itself.